Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how I created this soft glam makeup look, and I started off by cleaning her face, and I'm just using a cotton pad and micellar water to clean her face. After that, I went in with my moisturizer. You can use any moisturizer. I don't even remember the one that I used here because I did the makeup a while ago, but you can use either a water-based moisturizer or a cream-based moisturizer depending on your skin tone. And after that, I just used the fan to ensure that her face was dry and her skin has soaked up all of the moisturizer. And I went ahead to apply a highlighter, like a liquid highlighter. Then now I'm just applying her foundation on her face, and I'm using the brush. So as you can see, I'm pressing in the foundation I'm pressing the foundation into her skin. I'm not dragging it across. After doing this, I will still go back with my beauty sponge and just press that in and ensure that I get a flawless base. So here I'm just contouring her face, like I'm applying the contour on her face, and I would go back and use that same brush because why not? I used it just on her, so I can as well like use the same brush. So I went back in with that same brush that I used to apply the foundation and just blended out the contour, and I applied it on her forehead and on her cheekbones. I will, after contour, I would go in and apply my blush, and I'm just applying the blush above the contour and using the same brush to blend that in as well. After doing this, I will go in with my beauty sponge and blend everything in because we don't want to leave any harsh lines. I'm sorry I didn't show that part, but that's exactly what I did. So now I'm applying the concealer on the areas on her face that I want to highlight, which is her forehead and under her eyes, and I'm just dragging that highlight like upwards from her eyes upwards just to give her face a lift. Then I go in with a smaller brush and I start blending it, like I'm just pressing it and blending the concealer into her skin. I'm not dragging it, I'm pressing, and I continue to do that until everything is blended. Then I'll go back in with my beauty sponge. Like, it's just the same process. Use a brush, then use a beauty sponge. Use a brush, use a beauty sponge. So now that everything has been properly blended, I am going back with that same brush and just a little of what's left over of the contour to re-emphasize the contour because some of it got taken out when I applied the concealer. So after doing that, I started setting her face, like setting the concealer that I had applied, and I use the Huda Beauty setting powder. I believe is in the shade Banana. Yes, so I use a small fluffy brush to apply that, and before I did the second eye, you can see I went back with my beauty sponge and just blended that out to ensure that I'm not blending in any creases, because when you're doing one eye, you don't, like, sometimes you may look away, you may look down, and you'd see some creases. So you want to go back in with your beauty sponge, blend out any crease before setting that. And now I'm using her powder shade. I use the MAC mineralized powder and the Sephora powder. I use both of them to just go over her face, over every other part of her face, to, like, you know, set her face before I start my brows. So now I'm doing her brows, and I use a spoolie to brush her brows up in upward motion, and I start to fill it with a brow pomade. I don't really go into details in this video for the brows. I have a video on my channel if you want to watch a watch a video dedicated to brows, and I would create another video and upload it soon. So here I'm just cleaning up her brows with the same concealer that I used to highlight her face, and I just zoomed in a little bit so you can see what I'm doing, but this video is not dedicated to brows. So yep, just cleaning that up, and then I would go in with a small brush to kind of like brush everything and ensure that I'm not leaving any harsh lines. Now I'm doing her eyeshadow, and I just start with the brow pomade that I used initially. Like, it's the same one I used for her eyebrows, and I put that as a base because I'm going to do a brown smoky eye. So I used the brow pomade as a base and just applied that, then started blending it with a small brush. Now that I have my base, then I go into this Juvia's Place eyeshadow, and I start to intensify that base that I already have. I'm using like browns because, I mean, that's what I'm going for. I'm also using a fluffy brush to apply that, and I'm just blending everything in. And you would notice now I start to use like an orangey shade, which is the transition color. So I'm just using that. I'm dipping into the orange, the other color that looks earthy, and the yellow one. So just a mix of all three of them, but it looks more like the orange is dominating the color. But I just use that and a fluffy brush to go over the line. You see the line where the brown stops? I don't want to see that line. So I'm using that orange, yellow, and the other color to just blend that line. Like, I don't want to see, so I just keep going over it and going over it and going over it. And now it looks like I'm blending upwards into her eyebrows at the beginning. That's because I'm trying to create some sort of it's kind of like you're doing your eyeshadow, but you're also starting your nose contour, if that makes sense. So if you look at it now, it looks like I've started my nose contour. So I do that when I'm doing my eyeshadow. It just makes it easier. Like, it just makes sense. Then now I go back in with into the dark brown to just intensify that. So here I'm applying a little eyeshadow primer at the beginning of her eyes because I want to put another color. And after doing that, I'll just blend it with a small brush. Then I go in with the nude shade that I want to put there, and I'm just pressing that in because the nude shade is a matte eyeshadow. So matte eyeshadows are like in powder form, so I'm just pressing that in and also blending it. So that's the thing, like even when you apply a second eyeshadow, you still have to ensure that you blend it out and not just leave it there. So that's what I did. And now that I'm done with my eyeshadow, I use that brush to brush off any eyeshadow that would have fallen on her face. And now I'm just applying her eyelashes. So here I am applying I'm applying bronzer on her face. So I like to use that same shade in the Juvia's Place palette. For some skin tones, it works really well. I'll check for the name. I think it's the Juvia's Place Warrior palette. Yes, so that's the one I use. I find that the orange sometimes serves as a blush for some skin tones, and the other color that looks like burnt red or burnt orange, I don't even know, but that one kind of serves as a bronzer for some people. So that's what I used on her. Then I applied blush, and I'm going in with the Charlotte Tilbury powder to just apply that all under her eyes, because I like what the powder does when you use it. It gives you this, I don't know, it gives you this nice finish. So I use that under her eyes to go over like what I had already done. And I'm just setting her face using the Charlotte Tilbury spray and Morphe continuous setting mist. Then use the fan to dry everything, and I'll line her lips and apply her lipstick, and then we are done. To line her lips, I used the brown pencil Morphe brown lip liner in Trendsetter, and this is a lipstick from, is a Sephora brand. I think it's either the 07 or 06, I don't remember. But that's just what I used. Then I apply gloss. And this is the final look. Let me know what you think in the comment section. If you have any questions, please ask, put them in the comments and I'll answer. Thanks for watching. Bye.